Hey everybody, it's Steve with Sky194, and I appreciate you taking the time to visit and check out my video, and hope you're having a great day. And of course, the video I had on yesterday was with the Lamborghini here, Barcelona, and of course, kind of letting one slip away, I should say, and just not had good enough pace for the end of the race. So it kind of bothered me. So I kind of worked on the setup a little bit, and I knew it wasn't nothing major. It was just maybe a few little things. But I think the car is a lot better now. So I'm gonna go ahead and post another setup with this revised one, and that way something a little bit better, has a little bit better performance and pace, in my opinion. So let's go over a quick couple laps, and then we'll go over the setup. My best is a 144.63, which is still better than what I had in the race, although it was a little warmer, so that might have hurt some too. The thing I didn't like is, especially the third sector, the back end would want to slide a lot, and so then I had to start tiptoeing through there so I wouldn't crash, and it just started killing my lap times to where they could just, they just gobbled me up, and you just can't, you can't tiptoe or you're, scared you're going to lose it at any second, and that's pretty much what it was. Even through here, it was really bad, and then when I got to, like I said, this next hairpin up here, from here there all the way to the finish, it was just, I was on needles trying to hang on to it. So I think it's a lot better now. It's a 144.57. So, again, that's a pretty good increase over what I did in the race. Even though probably there's a little bit of time to be had just between the weather differences, I'm sure. Because, of course, it's still mid-20s here, mid-20s and no wind, where there it was in the mid-30s, I think it was, or something. It was at least the air temperature or the track temperature. It was definitely hotter. It wasn't as hot as I've seen it, but it was hotter, so that really hurts the performance for sure, especially Barcelona. So let's go to the last lap. So again, this is the last lap after 30 minutes. And you saw that was a 145.49. Still, a decent lap for coming, to the end of 30 minutes. Of course, I'm pushing it really hard because I know this is the last lap, so I'm really trying to pretty much just give it everything, whatever it's got left. end of the 30 minutes. And that was a 1:45.63. So again, I mean, really only about a little over a second slower than my fast lap, which I'm really happy with. I think that's very respectable for me. Let's go over the setup. Oh, let's go with the timetables first. Here's the timetables, and here you go. You go a lot of 44s. Matter of fact, the fast lap only had one fast sector. It could have been more like a 44.4, 45.50, 50. So I mean, it's pretty, because both of the faster sectors were in other times. So, but still, I mean, you got a lot of high 44s, 45.0, 45. You got another 44.9, and then a lot of 45 threes and fives and sixes and all that kind of stuff. You had 146 where I messed up a little bit. But other than that, then it went right back down to 45.2, 45.4, and a 45 to, like I said, 6.33 the last lap. So again, I think it's pretty deep, very consistent for the Lamborghini. So let's go over the setup, and I'll show you what changed. 25.5 for the left front and left rear. 27 for the right front and 26.6 for the right rear. This is one thing that's changed. Tow is a negative 0.1, where before it was negative 0.5, 0.05. I'm sorry. So I increased the negative tow on the front, and that's to kind of help with, one, to get a little bit more wear on the front, again, because with the Lamborghini you always have more wear on the rear tires. So trying to keep that to a minimum. Went ahead and increased the negative tow on the front, and to help it with a little bit of turn in. So that's one thing I changed. Again, with the camber, changed it just a teeny bit. Negative 3.2 on the left front, negative 3.5 on the right front, with the caster at 12.5. And then on the rear, the tow, which is another thing that I changed, is 0.04. And now before it was 0.10. So all I did when I first started doing those changes is I saw this left rear was getting hot pretty quick. It was always showing yellow, which means it's sliding and things like that. So all I did was change that, the tow, and it helped a lot. And the sliding, where you hear the car sliding in some of the turns when I was doing the multiplayer race and the CP server. Then when I did this, when I was doing the testing and doing the setup, I didn't hear that after I changed this. So that's one thing that's helped a lot, was just taking a lot of the tow out of the rear. So again, I went ahead and did that. And also it helps because I'm trying to keep, again, you're trying to increase the wear up here, but you're trying to lessen it down here, trying to get them more equal, even though you'll never get them equal. But I'm trying to get them as close as I can. The camber got negative 2.6 on the left rear and negative 2.8 on the right rear. Electronics are 3 and 4. Fuel got 80 liters. There's the tires, which they don't have as much wear. Of course, it's only 30 minutes, but I mean, they're not as, they got moderate graining on the front. But again, you got they got a little bit difference as far as the rear compared to the fronts. But again, that's pretty much common with the Lamborghini. Mechanical got 6 anti-roll bar. Brake bias is at 61, which I can't remember if it was the same or not, but anyway, I got it 61. Steering ratio is all the way down. Springs are 201,000 on the front with a 1,000 bump stop rate and a 5 bump stop range. Then this is the next thing I changed, was the springs on the rear are 154,000. They were 164,000. So again, I changed them down again because the stiffer your spring, the more it's wanting to rotate. Of course, from the back, you're trying, with the stiffer you go up, it's going to want to rotate from the back, especially on the slow corners. And that's where I was having a lot of problems. If you remember, that, like I said, that third sector where you have a lot of slow corners, the car was just wanting to slide. I mean, it was acting like I had I had a crazy amount of rear brake bias, and I didn't. But it was just wanting to slide, and you can't hardly control it. So that's what I did, is I took, just knocked one spring one less spring in it, and it seemed between that and the toe, it seemed to really help a lot. So those were probably the biggest differences. The bump stop rate was 600, and the bump stop range was 30. The anti-roll bar is 3, and then the preload on the diff is 50. And again that helps mid corner because I had 80 on the other setup, and this helps again through the middle of the corner for the car to turn and not just slide. So again, I think that helps. Shocks are 16, 14, 26, and 24 on the front, and 17, 15, 21, and 23 on the rear. Aero, I had 55 in the front, 59 in the rear, which that again is different. I think it was 60 before, and you can run 60, but again, you definitely want to, I would definitely want to change the tires. If you have a pit stop, or you're going to have a pit stop in 20 minutes, you probably could go ahead and get away with that. But really, I mean, this is still really good. I'm just trying to keep the rear end to where you can be aggressive and attack the corners really hard, and the back end just not slide out. So, and also keep the speed down the straightaway still is like 163, 164 down the straight at the end of the straightaway, which is really good, even with all this wing, with the 10 rear wing and a 3 on the brake ducts, both front and rear. And the front aero variation is a 0.2. And again, I got this as a setup, and I'll leave this as a link in the description. And of course, I have my PayPal link will be in the description also if you want to help support the channel, which I really would appreciate. And thank you to everybody that does. And also want to shout out to all my supporters from Australia. I just got so many great supporters, but there's some really awesome ones over in Australia that that I talk to once in a while on email, and of course my email is in the description also. We talk once in a while, and of course I use my setups and stuff, and I just want to say thank you for all your support, and you guys are awesome. And I really appreciate y'all always checking out my videos, and that's everybody. And also thank you to the subscribers for all your support for watching my videos, and subscribing to the channel. I really appreciate it, and I sure hope y'all come back and visit again really soon and really often. Y'all take care. See ya.